Okay, here is a question for you. I have my own thoughts. What are your thoughts about this? I don't know. KFI on the radio in Los Angeles. You can listen to it also like on the iHeart or that Sirius Radio, Sirius Radio, or all that. You can listen elsewhere, but if you're in the LA area, or you can listen to it on the podcast, I guess maybe online, or I don't know, maybe you can get some of it on YouTube television or YouTube over here. I'm not sure. But KFI, a lot of people are having problems with KFI, and they turn it off for certain people, certain broadcasters, or what are they called? DJs. They're not spinning disc, you know. Are they DJs? Are they radio announcers? Announce. What are they? I don't know. I don't know what they are, but I know what you are. You are probably not subscribed because very few people are. Please subscribe. Are you a subscriber? Tap, tap, tap. Are you a subscriber? I don't know. If you are, yay! If you're not, boo. So please give me a subscribe and a yay. Subscribe down there. Boop, 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 boop. And like and share. Give me your comments down below. KFI 640 on your AM radio dial out here in Southern California. Somebody said they can even reach it like in Arizona or whatever on just a regular radio. It depends if it's a clear night or whatever. How far the radio single will go. Is it single or single or single? I don't know. But anyway, however it works. But they say they turn off certain people shows. Most of the ones I see are people that turn off Mo Kelly, Mr. Mo Kelly. His program comes on at 7 p.m. and runs to 10 p.m. Yeah. And I was asking someone, what do you do if you just turn it off? Do you then turn it on to some radio music and dance the night away like Van Halen was thinking about from 7 to 10? Do you perhaps listen to a different station? What do you do? What do you do? That's not my question though. But a lot of people said they go over to KABC, and I think that's 790. And they would go there. A lot of them is because they like to listen to Dan Bongino, but he's gone now. Or those of that John Phillips show, Johnny Don't Like Radio or whatever. Or those two guys, somebody in Ireland or something, I don't know, in the morning. But that's what they do. Now, some people listen to the radio like all day long. They turn it on. I'm not in a situation where I'm allowed to work or I can work and listen to radio. If I'm on set making a movie, then I can say, David, go ahead and listen to the radio while we do this. They could if it's a print job, but usually they would put some kind of music on. A lot of the print ones will put like the jazz or something like that in the background. But it's usually to the discretion of the photographer, the assistant director of photography, the director, or the assistant director, whoever's running the show for the show. They'll select what they want to put on there. So yeah, I don't really get the opportunity to do that. You do it as I commute places, or if I'm driving around delivering food. Here's your food. Here's your pizza. Woo! Or but yeah, they turn it off. And I was wondering, what do they do if some people listen to it from like 6 in the morning until they go to bed? So I did hear some people will also turn off that Bill Handel fella. And you always get this if you look on Facebook or whatever about KFI or other stations, I'm sure as well. I'm just familiar with KFI. I don't mean I'm only affiliated with KFI as a radio station. I'm only affiliated with I'm familiar with the situation with them. But some people also will turn off Bill Handel. Bill Handel, they said he's a woke, Trump-hating snowflake or whatever, and he's very boring. He's very boring to them, and they're looking forward to him leaving. And this guy named Neil Sedaka or something like that is going to take his spot, or maybe Tim Conway will. Somebody said they only listen to John, is it Cobalt, whatever his name, John on the, it used to be the John and Ken show, but Ken, he left. Now it's just John's show, and John comes on at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and then comes on Tim Conway from 4 to 7, and at 7, boop, they turn it off or they change it. But I had a question. If you do turn it off and you still listen to radio, let's say you drive, so what do you listen to? A lot of people said it's KABC. They said, we're out of there. We listen to KABC because it's kind of like KFI was in the past. They actually have good storyline. Some people say KFI has become too liberal at certain times, and the way they run the station with the commercials, and they're not putting the music on the state on at the beginning part of the shows. They don't like it. But a lot of them turn off Mo Kelly. But my question is, do you ever, if you do turn off, let's say you turn off Mo Kelly at, oh no, it's 7 o'clock, and you're driving down the road, and then all of a sudden it's 10:30. Oh, wait a minute. 30 minutes ago, his show was over. I forgot to turn it back on. I do that too. I do turn off sometimes. It's a bit of another story. Sometimes it's a little much. It's not necessarily his show, but shows in general, and not necessarily just KFI. I'm just like, oh, the guy's so boring. You know, I'll try to get some sports on or something more interesting than what I was listening to it, because it's kind of boring. Or I usually don't turn off just because they're talking about something I may have a different viewpoint. It's kind of interesting to hear. If you just listen to the people that talk and think and whatever alike, or like you, it's kind of boring. Why not just talk to yourself? So, but I was talking to someone, and she says, so yeah, if you go on like the KFI group, you'll see no Mo, and Mo's got to go, and when Mo's on, I'm on, I turn off, or whatever about Mo Kelly. But do you ever forget to turn it back on if you're going to listen to somebody else? Do you listen to KABC? Do you listen to KFI? I don't know. I do know that I am pretty good at turning the radio off and remember to turn it back on. So whenever the dancing diabetics are singing about their song about Jardians and I feel great, you probably don't. If you're that fat, your diabetes is probably not in control. A lot of people say my diabetes are in control. That doesn't mean that diabetes are good. If you're supposed to have diabetes, if you're supposed to have a blood sugar reading and it should be under 100, and you've been steady at 325, okay, it's in control. It's controlled bad. It's in bad. It's bad. You were able to make sure it's steady at 330 or whatever, which is way too high. I'm not telling you talk to your doctor, but you know, when you eat some food, you should get it to maybe like 200. You know, maybe like 200, maybe a little over 200 in the morning. As a diabetic, 130 or less usually is what they say. So if you're a dancing diabetic and you're talking about this, or if you're talking about your ability to achieve erection or to grow hair, or one I don't turn off the Cars for Kids. Like, oh God, they're just some kids singing. Who cares? I can listen to that for 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever. Some of the locally produced commercials by the people on the station I turn off. Whenever Bill Handel's talking about his stinky mouth and his hairy tongue that he scrapes with a tongue scraper, and his mouth smells like the back end of a sick cat or something, I turn that off. Oh wait, and then I'll drive down the freeway. I can usually and then boom, it's just, you hear that transition, and it's something else. I'm pretty good at that. There's one thing I'm good at, and that's turning off the radio and turn it back on. The grumbly stomach or the diarrhea tum-tum lady, or you may have IBS-C or whatever. Ask your doctor. You know, I thought I just had diarrhea all the time. Well, no, you have this and all these medical conditions, and you know, doctors I think hate that, because basically if they give you lab work and it shows that you have grumbly diarrhea tum-tum, they're gonna find that. They don't need the commercial on that. But so Bill Handel talking about his stink mouth. You know, they call me yuck mouth because I don't brush. How about a little kiss? That guy. Whew, yeah, I turn that off. I don't listen to his show really. Shannon and Gary and Shannon. Some people don't like them. I think they're okay. They do a lot of gimmicky stuff. You know, like it's the top whatever numbers of this and what you watch on Wednesday, and you know, the 8 things or whatever. They do a lot of different little skit type stuff on there, so I guess they're relatively interesting. Then that Nori guy comes on after Tim, usually after Tim Conway, now after Mo Kelly. Do you listen to that? Do you if you don't listen to Mo Kelly, do you come back on at 10 to listen to that guy talking about the supernatural and ghost and UFOs and all that kind of good stuff. So I was wondering, do you leave KFI to go to KABC and then later in the day come back to KFI? Do you turn it off? Are you involved in listening to and choosing what's going to be listened to in your workplace or your school or your home or whatever? Maybe you listen to something different. But if you're in the Los Angeles area, you're in Southern California, I was just wondering about that, you know. And also Mo Kelly. Why don't you like Mo Kelly? Is it because he might be black? Is that the elephant in the room that we don't want to talk about? The fact that he may be African American. I think he is. With a name like Mo Kelly, you think he'd be a dancing leprechaun, maybe. His name is Mr. Mo Kelly. But a lot of people don't like him. They didn't like the other guy, Shannon, what's it? Not Shannon, Twala. They didn't like him either. And he's also seems to be black. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a black thing. A black thing is a you know what thing and you don't understand. It's a black thing you don't understand. It's a white thing you don't understand. I do understand that people didn't like them, and I was wondering, could it be? Now, Mo Kelly's show is different than others. When I made a video before about Mo Kelly. When I first started listening to Mo Kelly, I just was listening to the radio, and he was substitute for somebody, and he was talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken. I do eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. What I liked about his show, and he's maybe not getting as many as he used to, but he has some really good musical guests because he is from the music industry. He'll tell you that a lot. I met Mr. So-and-so, you know, me and Snoop Dogg, I've met him 100 times. Beyonce, you know, we know Beyonce, Twala and I know both Beyonce. And he tells you some backstories and everything. They don't necessarily play the music. Sometimes they do. They say, well, you may not be familiar with this song by Roberta Flack. He might play that. He's not going to interview her now, but he may talk about that, and he has a good line, a point of view. Some good stories in that because he was involved and he lived that. So like that, the Nerdorama stuff, the music, the movies on Friday that comes out tonight. Tim Conway always says that's his favorite thing always, and he listens in the car on the way home. And I was thinking at 9 o'clock at night, you get off the radio at 7 and you're not home by 9. Your wife, where the hell are you, Timmy? I'll give you a little Timmy the tiger or Timmy the lamb. Whatever it was, you little lamb, you're gonna get a punch in your ham. I don't know, but he talked about that. That's probably, maybe it's not true, but if you live in Burbank, he works in Burbank. Do they really stick around the radio station for at least 2 hours before they go home, or an hour and 45 minutes? He's probably not listening to the show while driving home. He probably listens to it later on. I'm not saying anything that Tim is not telling the truth about Mo's show. Mo credits Tim Conway a lot for him having a show. But I just wondering, do you listen, turn off, listen, turn off, listen, or do you just say? A lot of people said I've just left KFI altogether. They were mad about Brian Suits, the military guy. They're mad about him getting the boot. I don't know what he did. Maybe he said gun, bang, 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 or hand grenade. Who knows? But they got rid of him. So there are some people that are angry about that still. But I was wondering, do you listen to KABC? Is that who you're going to? It looks like a lot of people said they left KFI to go to KABC. I'm not sure. Did you? Take care. Have a great day. Don't forget, please subscribe, like, share, and comment down below. Take care.